So today I'm going to be talking about something that I've been really thinking about all through the week and through the past week as well. I realized that in my journey, there were so many times I stopped to think about how stagnant or how I wasn't moving or how things were moving faster than I thought. Like, let me give a very realistic example. Like, imagine you're not given an admission after you finish secondary school. It can be very, very overwhelming. Then you are staying at home. Then you start to think about how fast-paced everybody is going. People are already in their first year, packing for school, and you're just at home in your room and not, engaging yourself in all the exciting things that you thought you would engage yourself in with your peers. It can be very, very like overwhelming, right? And then I thought to myself, like, how did I get to this point that I felt like I no longer have to care about how people's life move, but I just have to focus on my own journey. So these are like lessons that I'm going to be saying, like lessons or things that I learned from thinking I was stagnant. Number one thing that I learned is the fact that my standard is none of my mates. The standard for my life is none of my mates. Every other thing that people do is not a it's not a design for how my own life should go. My everybody, Tesola is unique. Tommy is unique. Lade is unique. All people are unique in their different ways. And because Lade is already in her first day and she's already getting the bag, she got this deal with like this like skincare brand, right? And then she's fast paced, she's making money, she's in school, she's getting all these things, and then maybe you've not gotten your admission for school, you're at home, you have nothing in your head to think about, and you start to compare yourself with people around you and put unnecessary pressure, not unnecessary, and put so much pressure on yourself that is not needed at the time, because you're meant to have rechanneled that um energy into something else, right? So first thing I learned is my standard is none of my mates. My standard is of God. God's standard for my life is what stands at every point of my life. If I feel like I'm not fast paced, I ask God, is this where you want me to be? What is the problem? Like, am I slow? Am I slower than your plan? Am I moving backwards? Am I too fast? Right? That is your standard. So when you feel like you're starting to compare yourself, or you're starting to set a benchmark, the benchmark for yourself is that of maybe Sonia, and you're not thinking about how Desola's life was truly designed or truly written or panned out, you start to compare yourself and start to use your mates as standard. The second thing I learned is that I refuse to shift my eyes from my own journey. I mean, I've said everything. I've said it in the first part, like number one. I refuse to shift my eyes from my own journey. If my journey, because like when I like, let me make myself as an example. When I got out of secondary school, right, I was in a very open space. Like, when you come out of secondary school, you're like thrown to the world. Like, you're in a very open space with different parts, different designs, different plans, different things that you have to do, right? But then finding your journey is very important, and when you find it, it is now a very big task for you to stick to it. So that's when maybe Desola is bagging an endorsement deal, or when she's bagging a degree, bagging so many degrees, traveling around the world, and maybe you are in Nigeria with a lip gloss brand, not struggling, trying to like make it work. You don't start to shift your gaze from your lip gloss to wanting to travel to America. Your eyes is on your journey. Even when you see people around you, like maybe there's another person with another lip gloss brand, your friend close to you, right, and she's making money, selling abroad, selling this, doing that, adding head to her business and everything, your eyes is still on your journey. You see that Desola has a plan, a perfect plan by God, a perfect plan that she's going to work with. She has somebody that she's accountable to, somebody that has written her journey, and she goes to the book every time she feels like that kind of thing. Your journey is not another person's journey. Everybody has different journey, different paths to even you can have the same like goal as somebody else, but everybody has like different routes to reaching that same place, and your route is totally different, and you have to shift your gaze from all these other places that your head is scattering into to that one perfect route that God has planned for you. Because trust me, if you try to, maybe you want to become an influencer, that's just an example, maybe want to become an influencer, and maybe Chisholm's strategy of becoming an influencer was to, go out more, go to places more, visit places more, take more pictures and all of that. And God's strategy for you was just to open a YouTube channel. And because you shifted your gaze, you were wondering, your eyes were wandering so much, looking for so many things to perch and pitch and put into that plan to make sure it's perfect. You shifted your gaze from the fact that YouTube was your hit point, YouTube was your goal. Maybe for instance now, like leaving secondary school and you don't have admission, maybe God wanted you to have a break here to truly discover yourself before putting you into that university world. It's crazy out there. I mean, we all just think that, oh, we just want to, like, all these, like, we just jump into things without really sitting back to think about it sometimes. But maybe God knows that this one is entering secondary school, university. She won't be able to handle friendships because she has not really had friends that has stuck with her. So I want her to use this year to build herself on friendships, build herself on becoming a friend, build herself on all these things, right? So, like, your journey is your journey. I refuse to shift my eyes from my own journey. Number 3, reevaluating yourself is a real thing. Now I'm going to use an example for this. You finish secondary school, you wrote JAM, you not pass, all these things are not going well, right? And you're like, oh God, what is this? Like, trying to, like, compare yourself and everything, but you never really thought to sit down and think for yourself, like, okay, what did I do wrong? Where did it all go wrong? I was in secondary school and I was okay, I was perfect until I wrote an exam that I did not excel in as I thought I would. Get a pen and a book, or open your notes, start to write everything that you did all through the course of getting to that point where you wrote that exam and you failed it. Evaluate yourself. What did I do wrong? What went wrong? Oh, on that day I didn't pray before I started. Oh, on that day I slept. Just reevaluate yourself, rethink it. Think about it. Maybe you started your YouTube channel and it's not going well. Maybe you expected that, oh, in 1 week you have like 100 subscribers and you're on 20 subscribers for a whole week. Okay, what was your strategy? Did you have a strategy before you opened that channel? Did you think about it? Did you think it through? Did you inquire, ask questions, research, all these things? Or what did you, maybe your first video, the sound quality was bad and you never just improved and you kept dropping videos like that, but you never just, like, checked on your sound and all of that, and people stopped watching it. Like, evaluate yourself, look at it, like, oh, what's going on? What am I doing that is so different from other people that I'm not putting in my own thing, in my own business, in my own life, in my academics or something, right? Reevaluate yourself, go through it, check, ask questions, ask people. In my last video I talked about how you have people around you that love your craft, people around you that love you, having people around you that, are ready to check on you from time to time. Ask them, let them give you constructive criticism, like, oh, what am I doing wrong? Oh, hi Sandra, what am I doing wrong? What can I do to improve? Oh, I don't like your sound, actually your sound is very poor, so whenever I watch it I'm not able to even watch it until I put my AirPods put on here. You have something to improve on. You evaluate yourself. You cannot sit in your house and think that God is the problem, or you are the problem, or your friends are the problem, or all your friends are failing at watching your video or sharing it. No, ask questions. Like, there was a time in my life where I thought that like something was not going well, and I thought that, oh, it was me, I was not the problem, people were the problem. And before, I had to ask questions, like, oh, okay, like, like, I asked people questions like, oh, okay, am I wrong? We talked about it, and I realized that, oh, I was the one at fault, and I had to work on myself to be better in that part, right? So reevaluating yourself is a very, very real thing. Check, ask people, ask God, check yourself and all of that. The next thing I want to talk about is consistency. Like I talked about that time, but you can never overemphasize consistency. When you want to do something, when you want to put your heart to something, when you want to start something and there's a fallout in between and you start to question yourself, check how consistent you've been at every area that you've pointed out to becoming better at. For instance, I'm going to use maybe TikTok, for example. Maybe you're a TikToker and then your views start to drop, or your the engagements from on your post start to drop. Check yourself, check the balance, check your, or maybe my content, the last content, what did I put out there, what did I do differently, what went wrong. Be consistent with consistency is like the big ball that determines most things in your life, like a very big ball. This is consistency, and this is everything that surrounds it. if you're not consistent with your, maybe your academics, your prayer life, your this, your that, your that, your that, and you expect like things to go perfectly well how you wanted it to be, trust me, it won't, because there's a lack, there's a lag somewhere, there's something that is pulling you down that you have to check and continue to work back on, right? So consistency is very, very important. The next thing I'm going to talk about, I've already said it before, but I'm saying it again: God's standard for my life stands regardless. God's standard for my life stands regardless. There was a time recently, just recently, I failed at something, right? I failed at something and I started to compare myself with every other person. That, oh my God, this breakage, this like breaking transmission that just happened. How do I make up for it in the long run when other people that were like had surrounded it, had moved forward from it? How do I like fix it? What I learned to realize is that it's not your job to fix it. It's your job to realize that there's a break in transmission and to walk back into the plan. Let me give an example. Let's say you're in a cooking competition and then you put so much salt in the rice. The next thing, me, like my normal self, the next thing for me to do is maybe cry or be offended or just stop cooking. But the right thing to do is realize that, okay, there's too much salt in this rice. What do I do? Okay, let me put another rice on fire by this side. Maybe it's white rice I'm cooking. Let me put another rice on fire by this side. Let me try to rinse it out. Let's put another rice by this side. Now there's something else cooking. And the same problem, you try to wash it, refine it. That's how it is. I failed at something. I'm ready to strategize. Okay, with this break I have, with this break that I have, how do I compensate for the time I've lost? Maybe I just get an idea. Okay, this is like in this period, start a TikTok, and I start TikToks while this other one is on hold. So you see, as I'm refining this other one, there's another build up of character, there's another build up of something else, there's a better build up of engagement coming through. There's a blossom. Not everything has to end as a bad story. There's a blossoming in it. When I failed at YouTube, or more, when my YouTube camera, my camera spoiled, I started doing TikToks with my iPhone because do you get, like, now something productive has come out of a fail. Failure doesn't always have to be that you failed and that's the end and you have to struggle to bring that one up before everything in your life works. No, failure is looking at the situation and making it productive, looking at the situation and making sure that you come out better, stronger. People will not even remember that, oh, her camera spoiled and she took a break on YouTube. Nope, they will check your TikToks and love your TikToks so much that they want to be more active on your YouTube. When you even go back on YouTube, you'll be so surprised and stunned to see the love that's coming from, just because you took that step of taking a step back and looking at the failure and like, okay, what do I do? I don't have to be stagnant. I don't have to stop shooting. I don't have to stop moving forward just because my camera spots. I can do many other things. God gave you hands, legs, eyes, brain, a mind, a heart. Things will function when you just put them to use. I mean, something cannot just work without something operating, without something fueling. A gen will not work without fuel. That kind of energy, you have to fuel everything in your life and make sure that there's no break. We're not built to fail. We are built to succeed. And when failure comes, there's still success in it because you are a productive being. Your mind is active, your heart is active, and all of that. Another thing that I learned: take a deep breath. Taking a very deep breath and asking yourself, how did I get here? How did I start to think that I was stagnant? How did I start to think that things were not working for me? How did I start to think? What triggered it? Like, I mean, I'm sure every other person in your life has gone through a stage, or I have gone through a stage where I felt like this was it, like this was it for me. But you have to rethink. You just have to rethink. Okay, how did I get here? Oh, okay, it was when I feel that they are cooking competition. Okay, how do I break myself out of it? Everything doesn't have to turn into depression or turn into a sad moment, right? I tell myself and beat myself every time I bring out sadness from things that I fail at, or bring out sadness from things that doesn't work out for me. It can also be productive, right? So take a deep breath, sit, and know what triggered this thing and go back to it, reevaluate, take all these steps that I said, reevaluate yourself. Okay, now I'm sad. I'm sad that I've not entered the university. Okay, what can I do in the meantime? Okay, what can I do better? Oh, okay, it's because I didn't read well. Oh, okay, think, be productive. Everybody, God did not design you to be lazy. God did not design you to be we're intelligent, we are smart. Jesus was that, so that is what we are, right? So you refine yourself, pick yourself back up. When you fall, you stand. I mean, when you fall, you don't sit down and wait for somebody to laugh at me. I don't sit on the floor. I stand immediately, adjust my body and keep moving like nothing ever happened. That is it. I failed, I stood up and I kept moving, right? So the last thing that I learned, you will eventually tell this hard time, this stagnancy, this thing as a story. There is still going to be a testimony out of it, right? I remember when I wrote like I wrote NECO. I wrote one exam when I was in SS2, right? And I failed like my core subject. Right? And I jumped into JUPEB. And then in writing that JUPEB, I realized that I didn't even think about it. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but I needed that subject to like move on and survive and to move on and continue my academic life, right? It was so challenging for me because obviously if you fail one subject in like why can you need it, you have to rewrite the whole thing. It's not like you can just say, oh, I want to write just social studies. Nope, you have to write social studies, physics, everything. So yeah, it was so hard for me that I wanted to give up and just maybe write jam or something and just dump JPEG, right? But I sat down. I remember I cried. I entered my cousin's room. I cried. I told her, I wish she talked to me and everything. Then I told God, I said, God, if you truly want me to go through with this thing, I want a pump of excitement to write not just the YK again, but also pull through my JPEG and be excellent at it. And this came to me, this same word I said, everything always turns out to be a testimony. Look back at your life and look at every single hard time that you've had. Look at every single hard, maybe one day you broke your leg, it got healed later, right? You had sore throats, in 2 days it was gone. You have a headache, in 30 minutes you slept, you woke up, it was gone. You failed a subject in school. Years later, now you are here in a school and you're doing a course that you love. All these things end up becoming such a beautiful story. Even if there were times where there were breaks, there were lags. People will ask you, oh, how was university life? And you're like, oh my God, it was trying, but it was amazing because this. Everything ends up to be a sweet story to tell. I feel like there's nothing you go through in life. Like I said, you might doubt me now, but get a book and write your growth from primary to secondary school and look at the downtimes that you had. Most times you don't even remember the downtimes because the testimonies cover up, the successes cover up for the downtime. Maybe you were in 100 level, you failed a course. In 2, 3, 400 level, you didn't fail any other course, and then all these things just cover up from that one time you went back to retake that course, right? So every down moment you have turns out to be a testimony at the end of the day. Point is, everything you do in life, whether fail, success or whatever, still has a testimony, still has a success story to tell. Now maybe you're done in primary school, people ask you about primary school, you'll be laughing, oh my primary. Now sometimes when me and Timmy, my friend, are talking about school, we're laughing about majority of the things. So when we get back from classes and when we used to get back from classes and oh, everything was stressful, the day was stressful, you will see us laughing at everything that happened that day. Thank God Washa done. Thank God we are literally, thank God, because all these things don't last forever. All this, your hard times will not last forever. Just stick to God's plan and remember that your journey is your journey. Don't compare yourself. Don't try to drift. Don't try to become a master plan. Oh, I'm the owner of the journey, let me carry my own self. No, follow the plan and trust me, things will work out for you. So see you guys in my next video. Bye.